Goodman, and running to be your next chair of cultural programming because I honestly cannot think of any other leadership position that fits my goals and passions so perfectly. I am someone who is passionate about being Jewish and teaching Judaism, but what excites me most about this position are the opportunities I will have to learn about my own faith, perhaps from some unlikely teachers. Serving on the Cultural Programming Committee for the past 2 semesters, I have planned and participated in programming with many different cultural groups on campus. Yes, these events provide opportunities to learn about another culture's traditions, and I plan on continuing similar events. But what surprised me most was how much I learned about my own faith, simply through the curiosity of others. Discussions I've had with a Muslim, Black, Hindi, Chinese, or Christian student made me aware of elements of my own Jewish identity that I never would have thought about otherwise. I'd say that's pretty powerful. This coming year will only be the second time a cultural programming position exists on the executive board. While this means that there is plenty of room for new programs and events, I believe it is equally important to continue successful past programs so that they become traditions in our Hillel community. Making an event like the Freedom Seder with Black Students United an annual event gives it the power and significance it could never have if it remained a remember when in our minds. In terms of new programming, one of my specific goals is to coordinate multi-faith events surrounding a community service project. Participating in a Feed My Starving Children food packaging this past semester with a variety of cultural groups made me realize that service opportunities give us the chance to not only meet and schmooze with other students, but to really accomplish something together. Some specific ideas include, but are not limited to, a Habitat for Humanity build, old age home visit, and Challah for Hunger baking. I know I speak for many of us when I say that I identify as a cultural Jew. I've used and heard this term thrown around a lot, but I've always struggled to define it. And here I am, running for the chair of cultural programming. So, I've done some thinking, and I believe the best way to define this cultural Judaism is that it's something that rests inside us, something that we keep with us but may not necessarily think about every day. One thing that all Jews, no matter how observant, feel some connection to is the Shoah, the Holocaust. A responsibility of this position is planning programming for Yom HaShoah, or Holocaust Memorial Day. I believe this day has the power to touch members of not just our Hillel community, but also our Cornell and Ithaca communities. My vision for this day is an evening program in which students, staff, faculty, and members of the Ithaca community will have the opportunity to write and share their thoughts, stories, or experiences related to the Holocaust. Some have family members who suffered. Some have traveled to concentration camps or paid visits to Holocaust museums. I believe that as we approach a new generation in which, sadly, there are not many survivors, it is our responsibility to share our thoughts and memories. I think this has the potential to be an extremely powerful event. I also plan on continuing what I hope will become a tradition, flags on the Arts Quad to represent those who were killed, as well as name readings on Hope Plaza. In addition to Yom HaShoah, I plan on supporting and collaborating with the Chair of Religious Life and Education in his programming and events. Depending on the holiday or tradition, my goal is to have representation from any and all denominations. I hope to create an environment that allows comfortable teaching and learning from each other. I also plan on proposing an open Jewish learning session that includes comparisons of different denominations. Cornell Hillel is so unique that we have students who associate with many different types of Judaism, and I hope to encourage us to learn from each other. I hope you join me.
Oh.